Anderson Cooper, AC 360, CNN weeknights 10 Eastern.
Miguel, those who support this measure say, look, it's not going to lead to racial profiling, that someone has to be doing something suspicious in order to be approached by the police in question.
Who is to regulate what the police, each cop is going to do once this law is out? I mean, I could dress down Anderson, go to a Hispanic neighborhood, hang out in the street corner as I often do, speak with my strong Spanish accent, and that would be enough for me to get arrested. Do I need a passport from now on to go to the state, to the reactionary Republic of Arizona? Because that's what it should be called. This is a clear violation of my constitutional rights. I would be afraid. I don't feel protected. I feel threatened by this law.
Representative Kavanaugh, there are a lot of Latinos around the country who say they would feel threatened. Is he right? If he was standing on a street corner in clothes that were scuffed up or something, would he be able to be approached?
No, he could not. He's completely wrong. It's more than just what you look like. It's behaviors. The stop and question law has been around since 1968. As to his question of who judges, it's a judge that judges. Police officers will receive training. They've already been trained in other areas. They'll be updated. When they have reasonable suspicion, they got to articulate it to a judge. If a judge says you don't have it, the case gets thrown out.
These are not federal officers. These are state officers who most of them have not been trained to do this. Where does it say in the Constitution that states have the right to enforce federal law? That's what I don't understand. This is clearly a violation, and it will be thrown out by the courts. There's no doubt in my mind that it will be. I don't understand why they're wasting our time with this. It will never become law.
Representative Kavanaugh, what, though, in the bill, specifically says what reasonable suspicion is? Because, I've looked at it a couple times. I don't think I've seen anything. We talked about this last night. But other than, under, federal law and Supreme Court is upheld, if a police officer sees, something suspicious that shows the commission of a crime or the intention to commit a crime, then that's reasonable and the person can be approached. But other than someone just being illegal, what makes it all right to approach them? Well, you said behaviors. What sort of behaviors?
Yeah, it would have to be behaviors. And
what kind of behaviors?
Okay, in most situations, this questioning will occur as the result of an otherwise different lawful stop. Maybe they were pulled over for speeding. Maybe it was a stop and question because they looked like they were going to burglarize a store. There'll be very few cases where the officer, just by watching somebody on the street, could have suspicion that they're here illegally. In fact, I can't imagine a case like that. Most of these stop and questions will occur after they have been legally contacted for other reasons.
Miguel, you're shaking your head.
It's a license to discriminate against Latinos. I don't understand. Even Latino Republicans are horrorized by this situation, because how can they defend a party that now discriminates against them? I think hordes of Latinos are going to leave. The few that remain are going to leave the Republican Party after this. This is shameful.
Well, Miguel, let me just ask you, though.
This is a very sad day in American history.
Miguel,
in the future, we're going to look back and feel ashamed. Some people are going to feel ashamed of having done this today.
Well, Miguel, let me play the devil's advocate here. Look, if it's against the law to be here illegally, why shouldn't police, and I got emails about this last night, why shouldn't police have the power to question someone about their status?
It's against the law to be here illegally, but I'm a legal resident. I have a strong accent, and I may hang out in a Hispanic neighborhood in Arizona tomorrow and be discriminated against. This goes beyond illegal immigration. Those people who claim that they are illegal immigrants, when they do things like this, they show that they're against all immigrants. And this is what's happening in Arizona today. They're declaring war on all legal immigrants.
Representative Kavanaugh, you're a former cop, but do you have any concerns that the language of this is pretty, it's left up to, you said it's left up to judges, but in reality, it's left up to local police officers to decide, oh, well, this person seems suspicious, or they're something about their behavior is suspicious. That's a lot of latitude.
It's based on an existing body of law. Federal immigration officers who have trained local police have criteria that they've used. I've spoken to our statewide police training commission today. Anticipating the governor's signature, they've already completed the lesson plans to properly instruct Arizona police officers in what is a legitimate thing to increase suspiciousness and what should not be used. And in the law itself, we say you cannot use ethnicity or race.
Miguel, I'll just give you the final thought.
Amazing. They're concerned about crime, and this is going to create even more crime because undocumented immigrants from now on will be afraid to report crimes when they see them. If you're an undocumented immigrant and the house next door is burning, you're not going to call the fire department now because you're afraid that you're going to be arrested. So there's a lot of otherwise law-abiding undocumented immigrants who are not going to want to deal with the cops at all. This is shameful.
Representative Kavanaugh, I know in the bill it does allow police officers discretion about whether or not they actually pursue somebody on immigration-related charges or even ask them about
That's correct.
If they're involved in some crime. But I mean, isn't that you're still asking an awful lot of trust from a potentially illegal immigrant to trust a police officer to report a crime that they're not going to then, be asked that question?
We wrote into the bill, if it in any way hinders an investigation, the questions don't have to be asked.
But why would an illegal immigrant trust the police to use that judgment?
Well, I mean, to the question just brought off, if somebody's house is on fire, you just dial 911 and give the address. You don't have to run to the police station and present yourself. So, it's a bogus argument.
Do you want the cops next door to you? Do you want them coming over to your lawn if you're an undocumented immigrant? Do you want them around your neighborhood?
There would be no justification for a police officer to go into anybody else's home.
It's absurd. You're scaring people out of your state. If all immigrants, legal immigrants, anybody who supports immigrants should stay out of Arizona until you guys get your head together.
A recent poll showed that 70% of the voters and over 60% of Hispanic voters support this bill. Arizona is fed up with the lack of enforcement.
That is a lie if I ever heard one, sir. I'm sorry, but Hispanic voters will never agree to that. I'm sorry. They would never agree to such a thing.